We're watching It's Complicated.
Why are men more focused on self-improvement than men's rights?
You can't go around talking about men's rights. I mean, it's like, it's bad for business.
Can you be more specific? What do you mean it's bad for business?
Like men's right, like it's assumed that men already have all the rights. I think in Vegas in particular, women have a lot of maybe unfair advantages, particularly with the nightlife and getting free stuff, and men can't get in certain places, all women's tables, that type of thing. But you're not going to go around talking about men's rights because it's a bad look, right? It's all about women's rights, and like nobody's going to take your side, or it's just you're pushing a boulder uphill at that point.
I mean, isn't that even more of a reason to talk about
it? Yeah, you could. I'm not good. I'm not gonna fight that fight. Gotta pick and choose your battles, dude.
Before we start, all this American things, how can I say? Do you guys ever feel as if American dating standards and their norms eventually come to our side of the world, like the things they do that side usually comes here, which is why I like watching American shit, like American stuff, especially the controversial things. I like seeing them because I like being prepared of what's about to come. But whenever something happens in America, it just spreads. It spreads everywhere. They are like the place. They dictate culture, basically. They dictate what happens around the world. So if something gets popular in America, it'll get popular everywhere else. And in regard to the question, the men's rights, what do you say? Why do men focus more on men's self-improvement than their rights? Is because in my opinion, we usually don't like we know that fighting for rights isn't gonna work. So you might as well just improve yourself so you can take advantage of the right of the rich and successful, other than just trying to fight for equal male rights. Or at least that's my take on it. Let's go.
Can you name any laws in our society that cater exclusively to men or women?
Conscription.
Abortion laws.
There's lots of laws for men. I don't know what they are, but
I know the divorce laws mostly cater to women for sure. She can marry you and leave you the same day and take half the stuff. That's not fair. That's not really cool at all.
How do nightclubs get away with charging men a higher admission fee than women? Isn't that sexist?
I mean, yeah, but do I like it? Sure. Because it's the only time women rule.
Men have to pay like $40 to get in, and the woman's free. So that I would say, that's sexist.
I mean, who really cares about that, bro? It's a club. Why are you fighting that? They're trying to make money. The best way to make money is to have a lot of women, more guys. It's like I don't see why they're complaining about it. Okay, I see why. It's more money for us to mag on hands, but in the the broad scheme of things, if you think about it in multiple perspectives, it really does not matter. That's not a pressing issue. Like how much you pay to go into a club does not really matter. It's just a nonsense subject.
Of course it is, yeah, but do you want to go to a club with only dudes?
If private companies can get away with that type of sexism, why can't they get away with a gender pay gap?
Oh, gender pay gap, I don't know if there's a gender pay gap, though.
There isn't. It's been debunked a lot of times. It cannot be debunked by me because I don't know all the facts, but I know a couple of key points, like the gender pay gap thing was not done properly, like the research, it was not conducted properly because they didn't take into account people's jobs and how dangerous the jobs were, experience, things like that. There's not enough factors taken into account when they did that. I think that's like a big highlighting point in that debate on how it was debunked. Like there was just not enough factors taken into account when they did that. And now it's like broadly accepted as this thing of all women earn less than men. Also, like the amount of hours people do for those jobs, like men usually do overtime and all that stuff. And I think that's like one of the big things about the gender pay gap. like even here in South Africa. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think women here feel as if they're getting paid less than men, or at least I've never seen anyone complain about it. It's an American thing. It's solely just based on America.
Maybe beautiful women get a position because they're beautiful and gorgeous, and a man probably has to, work harder to make his money. But I don't know if there's a necessarily a gender gap in that regard.
The Equal Pay Act of 1963 makes it illegal to discriminate pay based on gender. Why aren't women filing class action lawsuits against companies they believe don't pay them equally?
I'm really not sure, but if they really feel that way, they ought to go for it. They ought to chase it, but I don't know. For some reason, they don't do it.
Maybe they feel that they can't win it because the companies are bigger than the law firm they may find. I don't know. Maybe it's too much money to sue them.
Don't people sue for discrimination all the time?
I believe they do, but how can I put it? It seems like something like when it comes to money or going against a company and things like that, I think people tend to cower a little bit. They just kind of take what's going on. You get what I mean? They just kind of take it laying down and stuff like that. That's what people just tend to do. It's like how the prices of everything is just hiking and hiking and hiking, and nobody's coming together saying, hey, we got to fight this shit. Like, let's boycott Walmart, Target, etc. until they lower those prices, doing things that hit these companies directly in the wallet.
Why is there a prison sentencing disparity between men and women for the exact same crime?
Testosterone. And men are supposedly more in control, I guess, of themselves. Men, we give women the excuse of, oh, her emotions got the best of her, shit like that. Men don't get that excuse.
Wait, what? I don't think he answered that question. The question is, why is there disparity in the sentencing? Like, when a man and a woman commit the same crime, they'll both get different sentences. Like a man will get a longer one and a woman will get a lighter one. Okay, that I have no clue. Like that just does not make sense. Like, yeah, I know he brought up like some points, like he said what testosterone and men are looked at as people who can control themselves more. I don't think that's it. It just does not sound right. Like if that's the reason, it's a fucked up reason. Because we're all just humans. We all have emotions and we should all be able to control it. But yeah, I've never thought about that. Like that's a big point. You could do the same crime as a woman, but get a longer sentencing. Why? I just don't get it.
Why are men automatically seen as the aggressors in domestic disputes?
That's a good question. Honestly, I think it's because women are more dramatic, even though they cause it.
No, I think that one. I think it's the reason I would say men are thought of as bigger, stronger, and everything. So even if there is a domestic dispute, the man can overpower the woman. Like 9 times out of 10, the man overpowers the woman. So immediately they'll be on the guy to prove that he was not doing anything. I don't think it's right, but I think that's the reason, because we have to face facts. Men are physically superior or stronger than most women. I think men don't report domestic abuse to the police. Why would the cops think that the guy's in trouble? You know what I mean? It's always the girls. It's always the women who call the police for domestic abuse. So that's like I wouldn't say it's discrimination. It's a pattern. If you see a pattern, in your mind it'll always be like that. If all the domestic abuse calls and cases you get is women calling the cops on their men, then you're always gonna automatically assume that the guy is the one in the aggressive position.
Half of the time, I don't want to say all the time, because there are women out there that, do go through that for no reason, but most of the time women use that as their advantage to get what they want and be malicious.
Let's address reproductive rights. If a woman should have the right to opt out of motherhood and make that choice, should a man also have the right to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
Yes. That's it. I mean, I think that's just a simple one. If you have the right to say, I don't want to be a mom, I should have the right to say, I don't want to be a dad. I think that's just, it's either that or we both don't have the right to say no. You can't make rules for one and then the other one, no, there's no rules for you. It's rules for both of us. Yes, you can opt out to be a mom. Yes, you can opt out to be a dad. Or it's both of us. No, you're gonna be a mom. You're gonna be a dad. You have no choice. That's it. And end of discussion. I think that's like in my case. I think that's the only black and white case.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you shoot the gun and you don't protect yourself, you're going to be paying for 18 years of child support.
I believe if they were married, they consented to that, but if they weren't married, then I think they do have the right to opt out of that.
What reproductive rights do men have?
As far as I know, zero. But do you know why they make men pay child support? Because $1 out of $3 goes to the judge's retirement fund. Fact, look it up.
Okay, that's messed up. 1 out of 3 goes to the judge's retirement fund. Why? You know, America's so weird, bruh. Like y'all's laws are just the weirdest laws, bruh. Like it's extra for no reason. Like, why is that a thing? I'm paying child support to my baby mama, and then now a third of that goes to your retirement fund. For what?
Should women be required to provide receipts for everything they buy with child support?
Absolutely, because there's women out there buying Louis bags instead of baby formula.
It's funny that we're right in front of Louis.
I know,
the
right?
Louis store.
Okay, yes, I didn't even realize it. That's funny.
I think with this one, let me just fix this. I think there should be like a card that people who receive child support get, but it I wouldn't say it allows certain things. It doesn't allow certain stores, you know, like the luxury stores of Louis Vuitton and all that shit. But I do know, like, I've seen a couple of videos where a lot of people complain about how their baby moms are buying from all these expensive places instead of like actually contributing to the child's, you know, life and, you know, things the child needs. So I think they should, on the card, it should ban Vuitton, Gucci, you know, all these luxury brands, you know, anything that might be deemed as surplus for a child. A child does not need a new BMW. Let's be real. A child does not need a new Land Rover or, you know, 4x4. Children don't need that. They just need purity, milk, school fees, food, groceries, lunch money. Done. Simple.
Why is child support based off income? Doesn't this incentivize predatory women to look for rich men?
Of course it does.
One word, Drake.
There's no reason he should be giving away half his check and more than that and stuff like that. It really should just be enough to take care of a child. That's the whole point of child support. Supporting a child. Can they get clothes and food and etc.? That's the whole point.
Why is it if a woman can't pay for her baby, she gets government assistance, but if a man can't pay for his baby, he goes to jail?
I mean, these questions are top tier. They're just top tier. I should write these down and do interviews too. But this is a good question. Why is it when women can't pay for their child, they get government assistance, but if a man can't, he goes to jail? Okay, with this one, I don't have anything to say about this one. I think I'll have to look into it. I'm not sure if it's 100% true that automatically just gets sent to jail. Like, I'd like to think there's a process, but if it's true, then that's just fucked up. That is genuinely just fucked up. But yeah, I'll read on it. I've no comment on this one. Yeah, no answer.
Because the woman had to have the whole baby out of her. We both made the decision to have sex. Why shouldn't we both take care of it? Or if she wants to keep it, then I get that is her problem. But if they both agreed and then you want to dump after, I think you deserve the child support.
As far as I know, I think that if a man doesn't have a job, then he can't be on child support. They only can take away some of what you have. So he can't afford it. He just chooses not to pay it. Then that's when you go to jail, right?
Men should get some assistance too. Now, don't get me wrong. As a man, we should be able to provide and things like that. But things happen out of people's control sometimes. So yes, a man should be able to. I agree.
Man is the one who abandons, the household. That's what the numbers say. So in majority of cases, it's the woman taking care of the kids.
Why is it when a father abandons his child, they call him a deadbeat dad, but when a woman aborts her child, they call it her choice?
What do you say? Why is it when a father abandons his child, he's considered a deadbeat dad, but when a woman aborts a child, it's considered her choice? Bro, these questions, bro. I swear, these questions. Damn, okay. Why? 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 I am stumped. He's fucking good. He is flipping good. Like, look at her face. She even doesn't know. Like, she's like, bruh, I've never thought about that. I mean, that's just unfair. I think they're both wrong, okay? Let's be clear, both situations are wrong. You know, being a deadbeat is wrong, aborting a child is wrong. I think they're both wrong. But yeah, why is it looked at differently? Because at least as a deadbeat, you're not actually, you know, like the kid's still alive. You could argue it's a bit better. It's the better of two evils, you could say.
Because it is her choice. It's her body. And if the guy leaves after the baby is born, why didn't you leave before? You should have left before. That's all I gotta say. Should have never fucked her.
I don't know, deadbeat dad's got a good ring to it, but it doesn't seem fair.
If a father leaves before the fetus is fully developed, would he still be a deadbeat?
I mean, I think it's still the same thing. I mean, whether the child is inside the mom or outside the mom doesn't really matter in the case of defining what a deadbeat is.
My opinion, no.
I don't believe that a man is a deadbeat. I think a man should have a choice whether he wants to raise a baby or not. And if you...
No, I don't think anyone should have a choice. Like, if you bring a child to this world, you are obligated to be a parent to that child, whether you're the woman or the dad. I think both of you need to take responsibility and just raise the child. I think these days we're just caught up in this weird choice thing. You know, I think too many people, I think we feel too free. Maybe that sounds bad, but I actually think that's what's happening. Everyone feels as if they should have choice in everything they do. Like, your actions should not have consequences you don't like. And that's not how it is. If you make a choice, you have to deal with the consequences no matter what they are. But most people now just feel as if I'll take on the consequences of the actions that I choose to take, and I'll just ignore the rest. And I think that's like one of the main things that's rotting our society. I say our because American society will just trickle down and infect the rest of the world because it's that popular. Everything America does, we do.
I would say about half the people in this country are raising somebody else's child, in my opinion.
Why is it considered a life when holding the man accountable, but it's not a life when holding the woman accountable?
I don't know. I don't like that discrepancy, but I could definitely imagine scenarios where, I mean, if you like I said, if you make the mistake of having a child when you're not ready to, man or woman, you should be held to the same accord.
If we live in such a patriarchal society, where did all these laws come from that protect women and punish men?
It's a fucking delusion, bro. There's no patriarchy at all anymore. The father, thanks to things like Family Guy and The Simpsons, the father is seen as nothing but a fat bumbling idiot who drinks beer and watches football, and that's all he's good for is just being a wallet.
Yeah, that's a good one. I have a question for people you can answer in the comment section. When was the last time you saw TV dad who was not an idiot or like a bumbling fool and, you know, the butt of the joke? Like, when was the last time you saw like a responsible, you know, good nurturing dad, you know, like a leader, someone who's like the head of the household? When was the last time you saw something like a movie, a series or something that presents the father as something other than an idiot? So that's a good one. That would be a good answer to see in the comment section, and I'll respond because I'm actually curious. Do those shows even exist?
If men have always been in power, why would there be a law that you can only have one wife?
Oh, I think that's based on Christianity. That's going to be the U.S., any Christian-based country.
If two drunk people meet and have drunk sex, how do you know who took advantage of who if neither one could offer responsible consent?
You don't know who took advantage of who.
In that situation, no one. Yeah, that's the answer. No one. No one took advantage of anyone. You're both drunk. It's either that's the answer, or you get rid of this drunk excuse when it comes to taking advantage sexually. It's either you're both drunk and you're both taking advantage of each other, which means you both go to jail, or you're both drunk, none of you took advantage of the other, and none of you go to jail. You can't just have this weird, doesn't matter whether you're drunk or not, the guy's always at fault. Because now you're just making a society where the men hate the women because of the double standards. And I think things like this is one of the biggest contributors to the gender war.
One time I hit my foot in this shit. Last time I lost my drugs in